Hey guys, it's Jordan here with Alumilite, and we're gonna do something really fun today. So Mike and I had an opportunity to go to Woodcraft and to shop, to actually make some pen blanks, and to turn as well. So we're gonna show you how to do that from front to back. You can honestly get everything you need at Woodcraft if you wanna go check that out. So no problem. If you wanna know more about Clear Slow, this video is for you. We're gonna take you through step by step the do's and the don'ts, the how to do it this way and the how to do it that way, and come up with some really, really cool stuff. Let's get started. We're at Woodcraft here in Grand Rapids, and we gotta go shop. You ready?
Yeah, let's do it. All right, so the first thing we need to do is grab resin. We're gonna be using the Alumilite Clear Slow. This has about a 12-minute open time, so it gives us plenty enough time to mix it, mix our colors in, get it into the pressure pot if we want to, or just mix really slowly so we don't have to use the pressure. Other things we're gonna need some color, right? So we're gonna grab some pearl powder. This will add some glitter, some shine to it. We're also gonna grab some translucent blue. If we don't add the pearl, you would just see through this. It would be a completely translucent. Some of these other opaque colors are gonna give you actual opacity, so you're not gonna be able to see through it. So you have a lot of different things you can do. You can mix the colors with the dyes with the colors, even some different flakes. So those are kind of the key things that we're gonna need. Hey Jordan, what do we need over there?
We've got a couple other things we need too. So first off, Alumilite Clear Slow needs a scale. We're measuring by weight here. Got that for me, Mike? Some mold release, because I don't want to work that hard, right? Let's keep it easy. And then we're gonna need some actual plastic things that we're gonna mix with. Truthfully, you can mix with a lot of different things. The one thing you don't want to mix with, styrofoam. Don't mix with styrofoam. So I'm just gonna get a few here, 2 for some color, 1 to actually mix the product. And then over here, are some of our favorite blanks here. Lizard blanks. We're gonna do 1 that maybe we'll use for like a bottle stopper, and then this one will turn into a pen as well. So 2 different sizes. These release really, really well. You just unscrew a wing nut and then you got access right to the blank.
Let's get started.
All right, we've done our shopping. We've got everything we need here, but first things first, and that's safety.
Yeah, it's super important when you're working with any type of chemical. We always want to make sure we wear safety glasses, always want to make sure we keep it off of our skin. So gonna use rubber gloves. Long sleeves are always a good thing. If you get it on your skin, soap and water to wash it off immediately. So the mix ratio of the Alumilite Slow Clear is 1:1 by weight. So we have to use that scale that we picked up off the shelf. So if you look at our scale, we'll put our container on here, and we need to tare the scale down to 0 parts. We've already cut the tips off of the bottles, and we're gonna simply mix up equal amounts of the A side and the B side. We're gonna go to 150 grams approximately. How about 156? That's perfect. Exactly what we were shooting for.
A little bit over, but you know, we're not mad about it.
Right. The important thing is, if you look down here, we actually have some air bubbles in the system already. We want to avoid these like the plague because we're not going to degas this system. So we can even drag these to the side and make sure they are out of the system before we actually mix in the next side. The other thing you can do is simply let this sit for maybe 5 to 10 minutes and all those air bubbles will break.
There is, wow, that's it. And you just push stick those to the side.
Yeah, you pull them to the side or wait, like I said, maybe 5 or 10 minutes. Now we can actually add the other side. A couple different tricks. You can actually pour this down the side of the cup, or you can even, put a stir stick down into it so it actually rolls off the stir stick to minimize the air. So we're gonna go up 156 times 2, 312.
313, 314.
All right. So if we overshoot just a little bit, we're 3 grams high, so we could easily come back with 3 grams of the other side. You really want to be as close as you can on the mix ratio, so we'll just simply add 3 grams right here, and we'll be in good shape.
All right, so now it's mixing time, right?
It is mixing time.
Now, Mike, here's a question. The open time of this is 12 minutes.
Correct.
Does that 12 minutes start now, or does it start from after we've got it all mixed?
No, it starts basically once you start mixing it. Theoretically, once the two are combined, the A and the B will actually start to react and do their chemical thing, which is going to eventually be hardened up. So once again, we want to actually look down here, and there's a couple air bubbles on the top side. Before we mix these in, I would love to actually just pull these to the side and pull them out of our resin so we don't mix these air bubbles into the system. Now we have completely clean resin. We're ready to start mixing. And when we mix, we're just going to put the stir stick down to the bottom, and we're going to slowly mix. And if we mix very, very slowly like this, we can avoid entrapping or introducing any new air to it. So we may mix this for close to 6 to 7 minutes of that 12 minutes until this is completely clear and no swirls are seen. Then we'll add our color and we'll pour it into our lizard blank mold box, and we'll be ready to go.
But I'm gonna do it a little bit differently, Mike.
Yeah, you get the impatient way, my favorite way.
I don't wanna wait. So I'm gonna do it with pressure, and I'm gonna go ahead. It's the same mixing, right? It's the same mix by weight, and you say mix the sides. It's just, I'm gonna grab a paint stick, and I'm just gonna go to town. So I'm gonna measure this out.
And the reason that he can mix fast is that he doesn't care if he introduces air, because he's gonna put it into a pressure pot and it's gonna cure under pressure, meaning it's gonna crush those air bubbles so small the human eye will never see them. Therefore, he doesn't have to worry about air entrapment when he's mixing.
All right, 126 times 2, 252, right? Good math, good math. All right, 252. Oh, I'm close. Okay, and the trick with mine, go as hard as you can, as fast as you can. And don't worry about anything. No, I'm just kidding. Take your time. You don't want to over mix this to the point where it's coming out of the cup and then you're making a mess on your work stand or anything like that. This resin will find its way into the bottom of a cup, and suddenly you're sticking to things and it's kind of a mess to clean up. Luckily, we've laid down plastic, which we highly recommend if you're doing a workshop or any demo like that. It makes cleanup in the shop a lot easier.
In both instances, we want to make sure we scrape the sides and scrape the bottom. Resins generate heat when they cure. They're called exothermic. So the larger the mass you pour, the actually faster it'll cure. Kind of backwards in some traditional thinking where if it's really thin, it'll cure faster. Here, it's all about heat. So if you're working out in a garage in January in Michigan like we are, that resin is going to be really cold and it's going to take a long time for it to cure. So heat is your friend. So make sure your material is up to at least room temperature when you go and pour, and realize that the bigger part that you pour is actually going to cure faster. So why Alumilite slow clear for casting and turning blanks? Well, number one, it can be used in a mass cast. You can pour really thick masses with it and you don't have to worry about it shrinking or exotherm, that type of stuff. So you can do pours all the way up into 20 and 30 pound pours for doing really large items. The other reason is it's very UV stable. So it's not going to turn yellow if you pour a thicker mass. The other thing is it takes only a couple hours to cure. So you're not waiting overnight in a pressure pot or things like that for it to cure. So the cure time is quicker and you're able to turn it much faster. So as you can see, we've been slowly mixing this for about 7.5 of our 12 minutes. And you can see we have no air bubbles and pretty much no swirls whatsoever. So here we've slow mixed two colors. We have a little bit of pearl with red dye, and we have quite a bit of gold. So we're going to play with some of the opacity of the different colors. When we pour this, we want to make sure we don't introduce any new air. So what we do is we pour it like your favorite carbonated beverage, right down the side. The little cups that come in the kit are great for pouring any excess material, so then you can see exactly how long it's going to take in order for it to harden. Thank you. Now we're going to come with our gold.
The plastic cups, that's a great tip. Mike, what else?
Well, you know, you always want to keep your shop clean. Obviously, we laid plastic down here. It's very important to keep the liquid resins off of like clothes, carpet, that type of stuff, because once it saturates and it gets in there, and especially once the A and the B mix, there's really no turning back. It's going to stain clothes, it's going to stain carpet, that type of stuff. So make sure to be very protective of your work environment and know what you're getting into. I wouldn't be doing this on your wife's kitchen table.
So with a hybrid blank, that means that we've got something else just besides resin in there. So wood's really common, pine cones are really common. There's a lot of things. We're gonna do something a little bit different. I've got some seashells here that I've snagged, and I'm gonna put them in the bottom of my blank here, and then I'm gonna put resin on top of that. Then I'm just gonna do layers until I get about 3/4 of the way up. Then I'm gonna add my pearlescent one. It's gonna be sweet. Now on this, the white's just sitting on the top right now. I want that to be mixed up thoroughly throughout, so I'm just going to take my tongue depressor here that you can get at Woodcraft, and I'm just going to kind of swirl it in throughout the blank. All right, so I've got mine ready. I'm going in. Now we've put actually some poured resin in the bottom of this to make sure that it's level, but a wood disc that you could cut out, that's the diameter of this, also works. You just don't want kind of a naturally concave surface, and then out of nowhere your blank starts kind of wobbling and you lose resin. So we've got a flat surface in there. I'm gonna have Mike help me out and put this lid on top.
The most important thing is never put more air pressure in the tank than the tank is actually rated for. This tank has a little safety valve at about 50 psi. If we try to exceed that in the tank, it would actually blow and release that pressure.
All right, so we're set and ready to go. We're at 40 psi. Now we just have to wait about 2 to 3 hours before we can release the pressure, take off the lid, and demold it.
So the important thing is to make sure we get it under pressure before the open time. The open time is really defined as when it starts to go from liquid to solid. If you can see right here in this cup, we're at about 15 minutes right now, and you can see how it's kind of gel. We need to make sure it's in the pressure pot or left alone in the molds before that open time expires. Now we'll wait about 2 to 4 hours, we'll demold it, and we'll be ready to turn them tomorrow. All right, so we've waited probably about an hour and a half, 2 hours. With the thicker masses, remember we can demold these a little quicker. So I'll unscrew this one. You can let the air pressure.
So we can release this, no problem.
No problem.
All right, how loud is it gonna be?
It'll just like an air tire. Go ahead.
All right, there we go.
I was hoping I'd pop this out.
Did you put any mold release in there, Mike?
Not. So let's see the difference.
Somebody thought through.
So let's see the difference.
Ooh, mine's still a little soft. What do you think?
I would probably just leave it in there, let it cure. The pressure casting part of it's done, but.
So we're not actually super worried about this morphing or anything like that anymore. It's just not quite as solid as we want it to be.
So, and really where it is, it's just the edges. So if you look at something like this, and our camera guy, Eric, just stuck his finger in this, so I'll show you. So this is rock hard because it's a big mass, but if you look at something like this, it's still literally, it's almost like taffy still. Right? Because this were poured at the same time, same exact batch, right? But a big mass is going to cure faster. So this blank here around the outside edges right? It's still gonna be soft and almost like taffy, right? Whereas the middle is rock hard. We'll let this one cure up a little bit longer. We should be able to get the bigger blank out. This thing popped out.
So Mike, I've got mine, and this is clearly going to be a pen blank. What can we make out of this size of cast?
Well, you can do a number of different things. This could be a small handle. It could actually be like a screwdriver handle or some sort like that. You can actually make it a wine stopper. It's pretty much endless, whatever you want it to be.
Perfect.
All right, so while we're cleaning up, I just thought I'd walk through a couple talking points and some typical questions. So people say, well, how does this Alumilite turn compared to, say, a polyester resin or some other ones? You know, people say this turns like butter. It really comes off with a long shaving. It doesn't dust, it doesn't chip, it's not brittle. And that's really the benefit of using a urethane over other chemistries. It also polishes extremely, extremely well. So between the workability of it, easy to pour, quick demold times, easy to turn, you can drop your items, they're not going to break or shatter like a lot of other chemistries, like specifically polyester resins or other acrylics will sometimes break. This is very, very robust and durable. So those are a couple of the big benefits of why you use a urethane, specifically Alumilites, that's been really formulated for this application. Don't hesitate to pick up the phone, call our 800 number. We're here to help you.